Hey there, I think I'm live, hopefully live on Facebook as well. We just got that all set up. And welcome to the Your Health Made Simple cooking show. And we're gonna take a look at a new recipe from our Your Health Made Simple Paleo Cookbook. And today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make tuna and egg salad lettuce wraps. Why? Because it's easy. And I had this stuff in my house already. So we're just gonna follow this recipe for today. And I don't particularly care for fish, not my favorite. Don't love the smell of it in my house, but I don't mind tuna, canned tuna. So we're gonna work with some canned tuna today, and I have that here. Normally, you're going to want to get the kind with oil, but for years and years and years, I've just been buying tuna with water. So that's what I've got today. Also, I wanted to share with you, I've already sort of gotten all the water out of the can ahead of time, and this handy dandy little tool, which is used to put inside the can and squish out the stuff that you might not want in there that it's stored in. So just wanted to talk about that a little bit. Oh, I didn't even introduce myself, duh. My name is Tracy Gowler. I'm the owner of Your Health Made Simple. And the reason that I'm here doing this cooking show every other Sunday is because I have had to make some significant changes to my life to help support the way that I live with autoimmune. And so I work with women. I offer structured health programs to help them improve the way that they're living with autoimmune, particularly Hashimoto's. That's always a tough word for me for some reason, particularly. And so what I've also decided to do is, in working with Rachel Gaynor, who's been really an awesome lady to work with, she put together a bunch of recipes for me because I also have a general health program for people that just want to improve the way that they're living healthy. And so she put together 8 weeks of lunch and dinner recipes. And then I completed the cookbook by adding a bunch of information that people really need to know about what it takes to live healthy. And so there's a lot of pages at the beginning of the cookbook on that. And so what I'm doing every other Sunday is taking a recipe out of that cookbook and cooking it live. And sometimes I do with other people. Sometimes I'm just here on my own. And today I'm just here on my own, and I've opted to make some lettuce wraps, tuna and egg lettuce wraps, because it's easy. I'm hungry, and I was looking for something that was a little fresher, maybe not so warm, although yesterday it was really nice outside, and today we're in the 50s again. And I just want to let you know, if you see anything flying around behind me, it is miller moth season here in Colorado Springs. And I think, well, Colorado in general, the other night, I think there was probably 80 moths flying around my house. That's how bad it is. It's a bumper crop this year. They get in, doesn't matter what you do, they're finding a way in. And so when I'm done here, I'm taking the vacuum cleaner and we're going to see how many I can find. But for now, if you see them flying around, that's what's going on. So let's get started here. So I've got the eggs already boiled here and peeled. And did they work out fabulously? Some yes, some no. Apparently my daughter has this great way of boiling eggs that makes them peel every time. And I was trying to do that because my daughter and my son were here before I started this, but I wasn't really following the instructions. And you'll find that might be a little theme with me. So even though we're following the recipe, here I have the recipe right here, may not exactly follow it exactly. So let's talk about that before we get started. Oh yeah, we got to get the 2 cups of spinach sauteed, and I will do that in a second, and we'll move the camera around because it's just me here doing this. So it's going to seem a little rudimentary maybe, or unprofessional, but that's all part of it, right? So we got to get that spinach out and get that going. Also, I've got some onion that I need to grab out of the fridge and that are already cut up because we need that. And I'm actually going to put that in with the spinach because I like it when it's a little softer maybe. And We got some garlic that's going in here today, but I picked this up at the store. It's a non-GMO freeze-dried. They're already cut up garlic pieces, which is great. And guess what? They're gluten-free. Yay. So what else is going in here? It's tuna, but it should be tuna that was in olive oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to the mix when we start mixing it all up. We've got some avocado, mayo. So I'm going to turn this camera around in a minute and you can watch me sort of start digging through the fridge, might as well. Olives. I'm not a big fan, so I'm not putting them in this. So if you love olives and you want to dice up some olives and stick it in there, you go right ahead, but I'm not doing it. And then we've got some lemon juice, some salt, some pepper. We've got all that down here, my salt and my pepper. Might as well make them fun, right? We've got some paprika that we're going to put in. We've got some chili, little bit of chili powder to put in just to give it a little bit of a bite, I guess. And then we're going to put it in some lettuce bibs, which is great. And then we're going to stick some diced avocado in there. Avocado. So the first thing I need to do is turn this around, get a pan out, start sauteing the spinach. Let's go for it, right? So here. You might as well see my kitchen. You never get to see my kitchen too much, do you? Just going to do this slowly and then get over in that general vicinity so you can see what's going on. Okay, here we go. Hi. So I'm just going to grab my pan, which I should have gotten out a little while ago that did not. Oh, sorry. That might have been loud. All right, let's go here. We're going to get some butter out and let me grab the spinach. And we got some onions already cut up. And I'm going to use some butter. I wouldn't recommend that for everybody because some people have issues with dairy and it causes a lot of inflammation. Let me move this again so I can continue talking to you while I'm cooking. Hopefully you can see me here. Anyway, so I don't always use dairy, but I do like butter, and I do buy an Irish butter to cook my spinach and stuff in. In a minute here, I'll push the camera down so you can see what's going on in the pan, and hopefully you can see me here. So yeah, we'll just put a little bit of butter in here, and then we'll cook up the spinach. Anyway, dairy does cause a lot of inflammation, and I do suggest when you're getting started and you're trying to move to a healthier state, that it's probably a good idea to avoid dairy. I do use an Irish butter. I really do like the flavor of the butter. See, you're going to find that there's some things that I do make little concessions for. It's Kerrygold. And I do buy unsalted butter. I don't particularly appreciate the salt. My body doesn't always appreciate the salt. I'm going to put this back. 1 second. So anyway, we're going to throw in some onions and we're going to throw in some spinach, and we'll just mix this up really quick while we're cutting up some eggs over there. All right. So that sounds pretty good. It's supposed to be a small onion. We'll just mix it in here with a couple of handfuls of spinach, and that should be pretty good. Anyway, so my point is dairy. If you're going to start getting a little bit healthier, you might want to think about avoiding dairy for a while and just give your body a break. I don't use butter every day. What you could use in order to cook this up instead of butter maybe is you could use some olive oil because you're just sauteing. You can use coconut oil. I know some people like to cook with palm oil. So there's other options that you can try. So this is just a little bit here that we're going to cook up. Now we're going to move back over there. So we're going to move this camera around a little bit so you can see what I'm doing this time. We also need some mayo, right? And so here I am coming over here now. Sorry. I like to use this. It's Primal Kitchen. This is a garlic aioli mayo, and I'm just going with it this time. I could have gotten it without the garlic in it, but I thought it'll give it a little bit of a flavor. So I do like to use this as well. So what I'm going to do to get started is I'm going to I will move the camera down here in a minute. I'm just going to stick the tuna down here in the bowl. There you go. So you can see what I'm doing, but maybe not everything that I'm doing. But all right, so we're going to do this. We're going to cut up some of these hard-boiled eggs while that's sauteing over there. And we're just going to mash up this tuna. Yeah, so, and the other thing that I like about this recipe is it's really quick. So I think, you know, the longest thing that you might do is the eggs. And I'm just going to smash up this tuna a little bit, if you can see it here. Okay. And then I'm going to take these eggs out and kind of cut them up a little bit too. And Rachel put this together for all of us, and she does recommend that we take 2 of the yolks and maybe not include them in the recipe. And I think it's just to reduce the potentially the amount of cholesterol. But you know, eggs have gotten a really bad rap, and you know, cholesterol is something that our body uses to create hormones. It's actually the precursor for making hormones in the body. So we do need cholesterol. And I think a lot of us, when we go in and we find that we have cholesterol issues, which they're starting to look at a little bit differently now, it's a lot more about the ratio of good to bad cholesterol instead of what the numbers are specifically. But you know, I've also read in a lot of the literature that if your body's working well and detoxing well, that a couple of eggs are good for you every day. They actually have a lot of really, really, really good properties. So we're just going to cut these up here. And then we're going to go ahead and add them. This is a lot of eggs in here, but they're good for you. So we'll remove the 2 yolks like she suggested. And then what I'll do is give these 2 yolks. The dogs really like them. Oops, a couple of shells that didn't get off there. Nice, huh? Okay. We'll add those in, and then we'll go back over here to finish sauteing our onion and the spinach. All right. So as I said, eggs have gotten a really bad rap, and we don't like to, eggs when we're dealing with autoimmune, it's one of the things that we do delete, that we get rid of, we eliminate. When I first put my clients on the autoimmune protocol, and the reason for that is because, well, although 85% of the country has leaky gut, people with autoimmune, what we're trying to do is turn off the immune system. So eggs, the yolks actually, no, sorry, it's the egg whites. They do carry bacteria across the blood-gut barrier. And if we're trying to turn down the immune system, we want to make sure that we aren't having foods in our system that are actually promoting, you know, activating the immune system. So the whites definitely do that. So the eggs are eliminated for that reason. We're just trying to cut down on the amount of things that is activating the immune system. We want to turn that fire way down. So that's why eggs are eliminated with the AIP. But when it comes to paleo way of eating, eggs are definitely part of that. So we're going to make sure that we use all these eggs and get them mixed up here with the tuna. So I'm just going to slide this over so I don't end up getting my hands crazy, or I'm not going to be able to move the camera around. Okay. That's a lot of eggs. But this is going to be a really good, healthy lettuce wrap, man. Can't wait because I'm hungry. Okay. So I'm going to move this camera around a little bit and make sure that you can see it on the screen. And sorry for this. This is sort of just the way it's going to work when it's just me here doing this for you guys. But yeah, we'll mix this all up. Okay, let me turn this around and make sure that you can see what's going on here. Oh yeah, look at that. That's exciting, huh? All right. Actually, I might just throw this garlic in here too. It smells good. I love the smell of onions. Okay. All right. I think this is going to be garlicky. It might be really stinky later. But yeah, so, oops. So yeah, like I said, the eggs are probably going to take the longest, just because this only takes a couple of seconds, and I think that's probably pretty good. So we're going to go back over here. Hold on, I'm going to move this around. Again, sorry. I just want you to see what I'm doing here. At least try to make it a little bit better than what we've done in the past. And we're going to go ahead and mix this up into the mixture. Yay. And again, if you want your olives in here, get your olives in here. Definitely not something I'm interested in, but you might be. So that would be good. All right, I'm coming back. Let's mix this up. All right, so the other thing that we want to do is get some of this mayo in here. And this is a little bit different than your normal mayo. So I'm just going to add it a little bit at a time, because sometimes if you put in here too much and you mix it up, it can end up being way too liquidy, I guess is the word, you know. So let's just see what this will do, and we can always add more. The other thing we want to put in here is a little bit of salt. Always have to remember the guy with the open mouth is the salt. And we want a little bit of pepper. Okay. Now we're going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. And then remember, guys, if you're gluten-free, and it's hard sometimes to find, oh, that's a half. We don't want a half. We want a 1/4. To find spices that are gluten-free, and you may have to go searching, and I can't guarantee that this one is, and that's when I eat it, I'll make sure that I take some stuff ahead of time. But they're kind of hard to find. You have to get online or go to specialty stores sometimes to find the gluten-free. This right here, chili powder, is definitely gluten-free, and we're going to go for even less of this. Only an 1/8. Hold on. All right. We'll just go for an 1/8 of a teaspoon of this, and just to give it a little kick. There we go. Okay, there's that. And we need some lemon juice. So got a lemon here. I know, and the seeds. But however, I have this handy dandy thing. I think it was actually my grandmother's. To help get some of the juice out of this lemon. And we don't need a lot. We just need a tablespoon. So we'll just go for this. All right. Keep that seed out of there. Perfect. So there's that. Now let's mix this up and see how it does. Well, it looks good and it smells good. That's awesome. All right. I could have used a little bit more spinach. A Okay, so what are we going to do next? Well, I'm going to prepare this avocado, and then we'll move to the lettuce bibs. Yummy. So yeah, if you're doing the paleo, these are always fun to get out, right? But I was watching them at the Mexican restaurants. There you go. So I was also watching them dice because I've been using avocados for years and I can't remember. It might have actually been my daughter that did that. You know, how the best way to dice an avocado is you cut it up before you actually remove it. Duh. Yeah, and it was like a big surprise for me. It was a very exciting surprise. It's so much easier to do if you just cut them up like this. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, so if you're just looking to go paleo, which is what the recipe book is all about, basically you are eliminating dairy, and not everybody with paleo eliminates dairy, but I highly recommend it. Although I do have to cook my stuff in butter. Like I said, I'm going for a higher quality butter. So I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way, I think. And what I want to do is bring over my plate. 1 second. I need something to wipe my hands off with. We're going to get you to eliminate gluten and dairy and sugar at the minimum, because those are the things that cause the most inflammation in the body. And the paleo diet is a very ancestral diet, meaning meat and veggies, pretty much. And you got a little bit of starch in there. Here, this way. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to get my lettuce out now, and I want to create some lettuce bibs, basically. And by the way, you know that little piece here that's at the bottom of the lettuce? If you take that out of the lettuce actually lasts longer. So I end up smacking it on the edge of my sink a little bit and then popping that piece out, because the lettuce will last a little bit longer. How do I know these things if I don't like cooking? I'm not really sure. Somehow I do, though. So here's a piece of lettuce, but we'll create a little bit better of a lettuce bib here. And this is kind of what I do also for tacos now, because I can't have corn anymore. So I will either eat fajitas or I'll eat tacos. Sorry, you can't really see what I'm doing here. In these lettuce bibs. And it's actually quite good because it holds everything quite nicely. So if you create a couple of these cups like this with all of this lettuce, sorry, we'll get here in just a minute. I just wanted to get rid of some of this stuff around the edges here. You'll see what I mean. Like, this isn't much of a cup right here, so I'll probably grab a couple more. But yeah, like you can create these little cups with the pieces from the lettuce and make yourself, here we go. And then I'll kind of load a couple of them together, because if you've got rips in the lettuce, at least that way it won't fall through. Okay, let me get that piece out of here too. There we go. All right, so let's see. Then you just take some of this and you load it up into the lettuce cups. That one has a little bit more spinach than some of the others. But yeah. And something else you might want to do is take some of those little cherry tomatoes, or I can't remember what they're called. Gosh, I love them. And cut them in half and throw them in here too. I might do that as well. But the point is, okay, now that I've got this done, I'm going to move the camera back so I can talk for a few more minutes. There we go. Okay, so you saw the plate. Here's some of these lettuce bibs. The point is, it's been fast, very, very simple, very easy. I think I am going to throw some tomatoes in here, but what a great lunch. What a healthy lunch. And it might be something that you could actually get your kids to eat. And, oh, the last thing I forgot to do, holy smokes. All right, let's go back down here. I'm sitting here looking at it. Why did I even do this to the avocado, right? Because we're going to throw a little bit of avocado here on each of these as well. Why? Avocado is a great fat, a very healthy fat. So, also, you know what? I think I forgot to put the olive oil in it. Oops, don't forget to do that. See, I told you, my kitchen is always an adventure. But anyway, the reason you put the olive oil in there is because it's a lot healthier, but you've also got the avocado, which is healthier. If you throw some olives in here, obviously, if you like them, healthier. I'm gonna move this camera back up again. There we go. Okay, no, cutting myself off here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put some tomatoes in here, I think, just to add some color and to give it a little bit additional flavor. And I love tomatoes, but literally that's how long it took me to make these lettuce cups, tuna and egg salad lettuce cups, or wraps, whatever you want to call them. And they're good. And that's a lunch for you. And if you have enough and you've got some left over, you can have that for a couple of days throughout the week. Or if you've got family members, it's just a great, easy lunch. Here's something else I want to share with you. I found this bread, and I got a big issue because a lot of the good gluten-free bread out there has rice in it, and or corn, something like that. And I can't really have the rice or the corn. So this popped up one day, thankfully, on an ad. I think it might have been on Instagram. This bread is called Simple Needs, and they've got two types. They have pumpernickel and they also have sourdough. So I did get the sourdough. Sorry, I have some avocado on my hand. But what they do is when you place the order, you get 4 little round loaves, and they look more like loaves that were made maybe our grandparents' era or older, you know, it looks very homemade. And they do, when they get the order, they make them special. And so they're made after they receive the order, and they ship you these 4 loaves, and they're quite hefty. There is no corn in them. There's no rice in them. So they're made out of other products, which is great. They're much better toasted, obviously. And so for something like this, with this tuna, you could probably easily make a tuna melt by sticking them on some of this bread and putting them and broiling them in the oven. And if you do like cheese, you could throw some cheese on top of it. Although again, the dairy, be careful of the dairy, because a lot of people do have issues with the dairy. But oh, yummy. And I might actually try that with some of my leftovers tomorrow. I'm also using this bread for BLTs because you just toast it with the bacon and the tomato. But again, the company is called Simple Needs, and Needs is spelled K-N-E-A-D-S, obviously because kneading the bread, you know. So that is it for today. I hope I gave you another great idea for lunch and or even dinner. And I will be putting this onto the YouTube channel here in a couple days. And I will also have a link back to the page on the website with this recipe if it's something that you're interested in. So I hope it was a great little tidbit for you today on something that you can make that's really easy and yummy, and with fish, because fish is really good for your brain, even though I don't really like it. Sorry, I do like this, and it's again very simple. So thank you for being here, for watching me. I really appreciate it. We're going to be back here in 2 weeks. So what is today? I don't even know. Is it the 24th? So I guess it'll be the first weekend in June. I'll be back here on Sunday. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Bye-bye.